Today I'm going to kind of go through my way of how I get ideas and how I bring my ideas into the actual drawings. And I'll start this off by saying everyone has a different way of doing this. Everyone has a different way of getting ideas, blah, blah, blah. But it could just be helpful to see how I do it because, maybe you can just start thinking about certain things you didn't think about before. So first of all, an idea to me starts off usually as a feeling. Sometimes I'll just get the full idea right then and there, but usually it starts off as a feeling and then I can use that feeling to build into the idea. What I mean by that is once you have a feeling, maybe you don't even know what the feeling is, but you know how it feels. So you can start drawing things or writing things down and try to figure out what makes you feel that way, what drawing makes you feel that way. And that's kind of how I approach things. I get a feeling, I start just quickly scribbling some sketches down, and my mind or whatever just comes to mind, put it on the paper, and it starts kind of forming that feeling I'm trying to get. And when I get it right, I just kind of expand on that and make it into the actual picture. Now, actually getting the ideas, there's a million gazillion ways that shit could happen. That shit could come to you at night, it could come to you during the day, it could come to you while you're listening to music, it can come whenever. You just have to be ready to write it down or sketch it out or somehow remember it. Otherwise, there's a good chance that idea will just get lost and it might not come back. Maybe it will, you never know. But just be ready for when ideas come. For me, a lot of time they come when I'm listening to music or just walking around. I'll just get the idea and I'll just be ready to keep that in mind. Today, the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna listen to some music and just start drawing whatever comes to mind. And once I get something that sticks, I'm gonna expand on that and make it into the actual drawing. And these sketches don't have to be good. They could be like complete ass. As long as you know what you're feeling from those sketches, that's all that matters. As long as you're feeling the right feelings you wanna feel from those, then you know you're on the right track. And you can always improve on the drawing later. To get the idea out, it's just important to sketch what you feel quickly just so you don't lose it and so you can keep a little grasp on that. Here's just some quick sketches I made while I was listening to music, and I made them into little panels and frames about the size as the paper I have so I can just get a feel on what the frame's gonna look like on the page I'm actually drawing on. And I just kind of drew out little scenes that I picture while listening to the music. So if something gives me a certain feeling, I just draw what scene I would get that feeling in. So then here I moved on to two bigger pieces because I started having a better idea of what I wanted to draw. So I expanded them and I wanted to make it slightly more detailed just so I have a better idea of what I wanted to draw. And I ended up going with the drawing on the left as my final drawing that I made into the full piece. I was just doing some quick sketches. This is what I mean when the sketches are really rough. They're really childlike in the sense that there's no rules to them. You're just kind of drawing whatever you think of first. And the feeling I was trying to represent, I don't actually know what it is. And I don't know what you would associate it with, but I just know how I feel when I feel it, and I know these images give me that feeling as well. Now I moved on to making the actual drawing using the reference sketch I put in the top right. That was from one of the sketches I did while I was listening to music, and you can see it's a really simple sketch that I turned into a more complex idea or picture. I actually used a picture of myself for a reference for the dude on the bottom right, and I looked up some pictures of girls in a dress for the girl on top of the hill, and the rest I kind of just did from my mind, the moon, the sky, and the hill. I decided to use watercolor as the media for this. Usually I do inking, or not usually, I do a mix of ink and watercolor, but for this I just felt watercolor felt more right. Because to me, watercolor feels more hazy, so it's more like a dream, and the feeling I was going for, while I don't exactly know how to describe it, it felt more like a dream to me rather than something physical and real. So watercolors just gave it more of a dreamy, hazy look that I felt fit right with the picture. And then on top of that, I just chose some nice cool colors that gives it more of that dreamy feel. Alright, I finished all the watercoloring and all that stuff. I am debating if I want to put a little hint of red in here, like some roses, but for now I think I'll keep it like this. I like the simplicity of it, just like the moon in the sky, the girl here with the moon shining on her hair, just a plain grass field, guy right there. So I'd say I'm pretty happy with this. Alright, so drawing's finished, pretty good. I was debating on maybe adding some red roses on there, but I think I'll keep it like this for now. I like the simplicity of just the moon and the girl and the guy and the grass field and the sky. Yeah, that's all I can think of for now. Main takeaways is don't be hesitant in getting an idea out there. If you have an idea, just write it down, draw it down quickly. It doesn't have to look good as long as you can understand what it is or you don't even have to understand, but as long as you can envision it onto the paper by just quickly sketching it down, that's really helpful. Most times you don't really choose when the idea comes, the idea just comes to you, so just be ready for that. For me, it helps listening to music to get some ideas out. That's just me though. Figure out what you like to do, and that shit should be good. That's all I got for today though, I think. So, yep, see ya.